welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Solzy.
Mock.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
J-Mart.
And
Kendall.
No,
Well,
it's not Kendall.
not anymore.
Debuting,
Debuting the new nickname, Sheen Washable. Would you like to tell him what it is?
as voted by the listeners, Kendall is now known as the Red Baron.
Yes. Fantastic. So now, you may introduce yourself as that from now on.
Yes.
You're the Red Baron.
I'd like to do it officially at the end.
Okay.
I was thinking,
Perfect.
should we have the same type of deal for Jeff?
Because it's J-Mart. We could. We'll have to discuss it.
Kyle has too many nicknames.
We
as it is.
We should have just given everybody a nickname that Kyle has.
Just recycle
Just
one.
start leasing
That'd
them
be
out.
so confusing. The J-Mart nickname's been around a very long time. That's why it's stuck. But
Mhm.
we could put it to a vote if we want.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Starting
General
lineups.
discussions.
Starting lineups. Red Baron, why don't you lead us off?
From the Maine Beer Company from Freeport, Maine, I have King Titus.
Now, where's the main beer company from?
Freeport, Maine.
Oh.
It's all written down here.
What kind of beer is it?
It's a porter,
Yeah, you gotta say these things.
also written down here.
Jerry Porter.
J-Mart?
So yeah, I've got an Imperial Stout, even more Jesus from the Evil Twin Brewing.
I am drinking from the Finch Beer Company, the Plumage IPA.
And I'm drinking from Goose Island. Alt Bear.
I like the attempt at making it German. I'm a big
Wasn't
fan
bad.
of that. Yeah. And I have all the way from the Founders Brewery, Lizards of Kaz, the blueberry chocolate stout, aged in bourbon barrels. So, Kyle's
So-
dying.
Kyle, just
We're
cough.
losing
Just cough.
He's like
we'll-
doing a dance move.
let's get the Toast of Excellence underway so he can get some liquid in his gullet. So we have 2 Toast of Excellence today. The first one to Big Sexy Bartolo Colon, returning for his 22nd season. Is that what we?
I believe it's
Decipher-
Feels
22.
like 30 at this point.
But he's back to hit home runs and throw 9 innings of 45 hit baseball, and I couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And our other Toast of Excellence to Connecticut's own. Forgot his first name. Just blanked on that one
George.
real hard.
George.
George
I think it's
Springer
George.
on World Series MVP.
Yeah, good for him. Had a
Well
great
deserved,
series.
Well deserved.
Great postseason,
And
really.
Connecticut born.
Yeah, in a way, we all won.
That could be us. It
It could be.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's not, but it
Not
could
gonna
be, I
be.
guess.
So Toast to Excellence to those gentlemen.
Wait to the party here.
Oh, kettle's spilling everywhere again.
What do we wait to the party here?
Kyle can't get the beer open.
Got it. All right.
And we also have a sip of silence. Kyle, I believe you'd like to take the reins on this one.
Yeah, so here at Getting Sports with Drunk, we would like to send our condolences to the Holiday family. He was one of the hardest working players to ever play in the game. Roy will never be forgotten for his love and passion that he showed every time he hit the mound. We thank you, Roy, for all your hard work on and off the field. You will be missed by all.
A sip of silence. Now to delve back into some lighter stuff. Kyle, you can do a shot because you said our name wrong.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think he's actually choking up and crying a little bit.
Are you sad, Kyle?
I'm probably going to cry.
All right, so have some private stock. Because we have more private stock to go around. Kyle can do another shot of that private stock for his absence from the show last week.
Don't stop, souls.
Yep, we'll
Terrible.
get a second one down, and then you can throw it Jeff's
Down
way.
the hatch.
As Jeff was the incorrect guesser
That's
to last
right.
week's shot trivia, so we'll let him delve out his question of the week. I hope it's good. I hope it's like something like math related.
It's not.
I have a good one for my next one. It's gonna be math though. No sports, just math.
Long division.
So it might be a little premature, but I'm really thinking Porzingis might actually take us somewhere this year. He draws a lot of comparisons from, Dirk Nowitzki. How many All-Star selections did Dirk Nowitzki have in his career? I think he's on, 20 years?
I'm gonna say 14.
I'm going to say 12.
13.
16.
So he had 13.
Bingo.
Ding, ding, ding. So, Kendall.
All right.
The Red
Sorry,
Baron.
pardon me. The Red
Yeah.
Baron. How about
Shot.
some Red Stag for
We'll have
the
to
Red
get
Baron.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yuck.
All right.
We should get some airplane noises for when you say my name.
Hey, too soon.
I tried the first time.
I think
God, do you
If
know who the Red
if you
Baron
play
was?
back, you'll hear it.
I know
think
who the Red
Maxine
Baron was.
Washable's
I've
on
watched
a-
Scooby Doo.
I think Maxine Washable's on a pretty good. Red Baron's from Snoopy.
No, there was an episode in Scooby Doo where the Red Baron was the bad guy.
Be sure to vote this week on your favorite.
Your favorite Red Baron moment? Is it
believe
pizza
it's also
related? Is
frozen-
it-
I was gonna say it's a frozen pizza, isn't it?
I think Maxine Washable's on a pretty good
There's also
like
a
streak of not having to do a
Decorated
shot.
World
Been
War
doing
I
pretty good on
fighter
these
pilot.
questions.
You know what it is? It's because he's guessing like one number away from everybody.
Hey, I found a strategy and it's working.
Yeah,
It's
being a
cheap from
private
Price is Right
snack.
bullshit.
They set you up with the 14, 12, 13.
Being a-
I was like,
I-
Kendall's wrong. no
I
matter what he
was
says.
I was gonna guess 13.
Yeah.
To be honest, I was.
a likely
Souls,
story.
I believe you have some pick'em updates.
Yeah, I took the lead. So all y'all.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Really
This
nice.
is supposed to be
Real
fun.
nice.
Paul's in second. Mox in third. Kendall's in fourth. And bringing up the rear, J Mart once again.
What else is new? Did I close the gap at
How,
all?
how far? Yeah, how far back is he?
I
All
held the
right.
paper up
Just
Thanks
for
for
him.
the
stats in
updates.
front of his face and everything. He's definitely north of the 500 mark by a good chunk now.
Yeah, Jeff's 16 games back.
And that's
Well, how far from me?
16? From
10.
what? Fourth?
10.
10?
Hey, it's attainable.
That's,
Well,
I challenge
big
that number.
second half of the year coming up
the
here.
Red Baron doesn't get to make picks this week, so
Really?
he forgot. We threw it away. We threw the one you did away.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like, we keep saying Red Baron, but like he keeps just kind of looking around. I don't think he's used to it yet. He's just like
I'm not
like-
used
he's
to
like
it.
a
I
puppy.
it a
and I was
lot,
like, who are they talking about?
He's got to be
though.
behind
Not
me or
good
something.
choices, but the Red Baron,
The Red Baron.
big fan.
Yeah.
Thank you for voting.
Yeah, it'll be Kenny Sunkiss soon enough.
Oh, yeah.
This is only the halfway point when we have the Super Bowl vote show for
Super
the new
Bowl.
nickname. So we have some MLB postseason recap and discussion. Timing wise, with recording, we didn't get to record during the postseason, so doing it now.
Too much great stuff happening, you know.
Yeah, there's too much going on, and so we'll do it now, kind of our take type thing, speed rounds, recap. So I guess I'll go first. I covered the wild card. I went to both games in spirit and spirits. But yeah, so wild card rounds. You had the AL wild card. The Yankees beat the Twins 8-4. It was interesting because the Twins came out hot, real
did.
hot. I mean, they took the 3-0 lead on Buxton and Rosario home runs, but Gregorius comes right back in the bottom of that same inning, nails a 3-run shot. So we're back to even baseball. It's essentially an 8-inning game, and the Yankees they kept scoring. The Twins didn't. And, 5-1 over the next 8 innings, and David Robertson, Chicago boy, 3 1/3 innings. It's a career high for innings pitched.
Yeah.
That's a long time for
They
someone
really
to be pitching
stretched
for a
him out
closer.
there.
That's a
That sounds like Kyle's all 4 years in college baseball.
no. He's the Bartolo Colon pitcher.
Just don't be mad because you never played, dude.
A lot of pettiness coming out. Now.
And then
Real
the
angry.
in the National League, you had the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Another higher scoring affair. Diamondbacks 11-8. Goldschmidt and Descasio,
Descalzo.
Despacito.
there you go.
We're gonna have to cut Kyle
Despacito.
singing out.
They hit they each hit a multi-run homer and took a 6-0 lead by the end of the third. The Rockies climbed back throughout the meat of the game, but the Diamondbacks, they kept scoring and they hit 4 triples, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Won by Archie Bradley.
They hit 4 triples, and both of these
Sure it
games,
was him, huh?
both of these games went pretty deep into their bullpen. I mean, I know that you pull out all the stops because it's the end of your season
Yeah.
if you don't win,
It's
but
win or go home.
I mean, but they put a lot of pitchers on the mound between all 4 teams.
That happens in almost every wild card game.
Yeah.
They
Severino
just
went like
let
a third of an
everybody
inning.
go.
Yeah, unless you're throwing a no hitter.
That's a good point.
I can't wait till next season until we get back to Pirates wild card baseball.
We can only hope.
I believe the Red Baron
Red Baron,
was our NLDS insider.
the NLDS guy. So the Dodgers faced off against the Diamondbacks, and all Dodgers all the time. Dodgers swept them in 3 games. The Diamondbacks only led once that entire series, and it was in Game 2, where they scored 2 runs. For the Dodgers, the story, great pitching. Kershaw went 6 1/3 in the first game, and Darvish pitched Game 3 and also had an amazing, I don't know how many innings he went, but he struck out 7, and Diamondbacks couldn't Goldschmidt was there.
A lot of big bats that didn't show
Yeah,
up.
Goldschmidt, probably the only bright spot for them, hit a home run, but
Well, this is one of those things. Like I said, you got a lot of big bats that didn't show up, but you have a lot of big bats that didn't show up against some pretty elite
Yeah.
pitching.
Yeah.
It's not like there were it's not like a team that got hot at the right time and kind of weaseled their way in and had an okay lineup. They kind of had a pretty solid lineup going
Yeah.
up into the mound.
other games, Chicago, the Cubs played against the Nationals, and that was a shootout. A lot of runs scored. Actually, I wanted to look at the composite box score, thanks to Baseball Reference for this.
Shout out.
Shout out to Baseball Reference. I got to scroll all the way down here. I wanted to.
Good you had it ready.
Oh, yeah. I'm always prepared. In 5 games, 20 runs by the Nationals, 17 by the Cubs, and
Yeah.
insane. Insane. But in another game, pitching kind of wasn't, for big pitchers, Arrieta didn't really show up, didn't pitch that well. And
Well, in Game 5, the National threw in Scherzer got lit up.
Yeah.
He had 4 and not even if it
Was
went.
not a good move. Who would have thought, though?
We pitched 2 games before. He wasn't ready.
He's no Bumgarner. I remember that year.
Yeah.
That
He
guy
was
just came in.
lights out.
and my arch nemesis, Daniel Murphy, who played incredible all season, continued great play. So
Nationals just always find a way to blow it. Always.
Dusty Baker.
Dusty
Can't
Baker.
get it done.
Well, they fired him. So
Every league has one now.
Yeah.
The Nationals. I mean, you look at the past however many years. I mean, they haven't been in the same division winning things, but the Lions have always kind of
Oh,
been
yeah.
right there, but they just can't
Yeah.
do it. It's just
Can't put it together.
yeah, it's a shame. It's a damn shame. Not for the Lions, them, but the Nationals.
no, I don't feel bad for them.
Kyle does.
Love the Nationals.
They suck.
Whatever. I guess they do. In a
They suck in
sense.
October.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. No,
Yeah, when it mattered.
They
most.
always choke out.
Are they better than the Phillies in October?
If
Well,
you want to go
yes.
by numbers of the last decade, I
This
hate to
season.
say it, but
Yeah,
no.
bro.
Well, all right.
He's got my back.
No, he doesn't.
Jeff does.
No,
To an extent.
Kyle.
All right. So we got the Yankees and the Indians who went all 5. Indians pitching didn't live up to the hype. Kluber got knocked around, had a 12.79 ERA throughout the series. That's not going to win you anything if you're
No.
an ace. Also, the offense for the catchers for the Indians batted under 100 between Yan Gomes and Roberto Perez.
And those are 2 hitters, too. These aren't just some schmucks that just catch. They have bats. Just not showing
They
up.
were basically automatic outs and had to rely more on Lindor and Ramirez than normal. And Yankee bullpen just dominated late in games. As soon as you got to Robertson, Canal, Betanzas, and Chapman, you gotta have a 3-1 lead in order to even try. You're not scoring any runs off them.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, Didi came through a lot in the clutch for the Yankees in that series. They were down. He would hit a tying home run or go ahead home run, or Brett Gardner would get a big hit. Judge sucked.
Hey, in that series, yes, Judge and both Sanchez didn't really have a great series, but like you just said, other players stepped up and
Yeah, Didi, not really known for his bat, but he definitely made it happen.
he had a good season batting wise this year.
It was nice to see Judge suck. Yeah, Kyle.
Are we done, Kyle?
Yeah, you take this long pause.
I thought you guys were going to keep going. Then we got the Astros and the Red Sox. There's nothing else to do that, all right?
The best part is we need a camera in here because Kyle can't talk on the mic unless he's making eye contact with Kendall, or arguing in Jeff's face. It's pretty much the only 2 things he looks at.
That's why I always look at him to make sure you keep him going.
But once again, the Red Sox pitching did not live up to the hype either. Sale got knocked around in
Yeah.
3 games. He came
First postseason appearance, right?
yeah. His ERA was
Good.
8. I mean, Altuve had a 500 batting average throughout the series. Springer had a 412. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. Yuli Gurriel. I don't know.
Gurriel.
Whatever.
I knew it before he.
Guy Fieri.
He
I
batted-
just heard of him this year. I've never heard of this guy. I guess he's from Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
Or
he's
I-
from
I could be wrong.
overseas.
I want to say Puerto Rico.
It was his
but I
first
don't know.
year, but he batted 529 in the playoffs.
Well, if he's from Puerto Rico, that's over the Gulf, not over the
Yeah.
sea.
Look at a
The
map.
Gulf Ocean.
But the Astros just had the hitting. Justin Verlander pitched great. Keuchel pitched better in that series than he did in the Championship and World Series. But the bullpen still needs a lot of work for the Astros. They got knocked around a lot. They had leads, they blew it. Astros bats helped them out every time. It's not going to happen every postseason, so they got to fix that bullpen.
I mean, I don't know for everybody else at the table. I mean, I'm definitely the least of the baseball experience, but I mean, up until the Verlander trade, I kind of feel like it was like all season long. It was pretty much a discussion between the Red Sox and the Indians about who was going to the World Series, and they both just got hot at the wrong time. Like the last 2 weeks of the season came around, they started cooling off, and then they just died out. They went into the divisional series with just 2 flat tires, and
it's funny because the Astros all season were just consistent. They never had a long losing streak. They didn't have, even a great winning streak. It was just they stayed consistent.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody kept hitting. The pitching was, and Verlander just threw gas on that fire, and it put him over the top.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Astros. They're a team that don't really have a blatant weakness, but they don't have a glaring strength. They're not all power. They're a blend of everything you need, and you throw Verlander, guy that's been there before, well decorated.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the right move for sure.
I've said it before. It was nice to cheer for him.
It was.
And his wife's hot.
Yeah, good for him.
Well, another big problem for the Red Sox was they couldn't get to the ninth to get to Kimbrel. Barnes and their bullpen is just so weak, and as soon as you got through Sale but Price pitched well out of the bullpen, I'll give him that. But
not much after that.
Yeah,
no depth.
I mean, I might be wrong because there is some slight bias in it because Sale was a White Sox, but I feel like this year, he had more outings where he was rocked than he did when he was a White Sox. I mean, he's now that when he went to the Red Sox, it just kind of showed he's the pitcher that just doesn't get run support. He didn't really get it for the Red Sox either. There were a lot of games where he would go out and have fantastic 12 strikeout games, but they'd only win 2-0 or something like that.
Felix Hernandez,
or they would lose.
But I feel like this year, for the Red Sox, I feel like there were more games talked about where oh, Sale just didn't have it this one, he didn't. Whereas with the White Sox, that happened maybe once every 2 months. I feel like it happened to monthly. Good. Good. Bring back Burley. That's what I'm saying.
Amen.
So is it confirmed? I remember seeing a bunch of stuff about this. Is it confirmed? Did Verlander actually miss the parade to go get married in Italy? That really?
Yes.
So how do you guys feel about that? I mean, I know we're doing the recap, but do you guys think that's a no bueno move on Verlander's part, missing the parade? I personally the parade's cool, but I don't really think it's a shot at your team for missing a parade.
No, not at all.
He got married.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, to someone
we don't know,
really hot.
We don't know when his wedding was planned. Was it planned when he was still a Tiger?
I think it has been set in stone for a while.
So if it was planned before he was even on the Astros, how can you really blame him?
Yeah, I hate parades, so good for him.
Well, here's the other thing too. I mean, that World Series lasts 1 game shorter. He doesn't miss the parade.
Yeah, you're right.
It's true, but I mean, it was just kind of like a circumstance.
Circumcision.
Bingo.
I mean, it's a big moment in your life, and when
Here's the
it's
deal.
Kate Upton as your wife.
Listen, here's the deal. You get to pick. Do you want to sit on a parade with a bunch of guys that you just spent the last few months with, all hot and sweaty, or do you want to be slamming Kate Upton in a hotel room in Italy? Hotel room in Italy.
It's call me. I like baseball. What can I say?
I do like
sweaty
to,
guys.
I do like to think that they flew in Altuve to hold the camera. That's what I like. I think that Altuve held the camera.
He was the ring bearer.
There's going to be a lot of angles that aren't that high up. You're going to get a lot of Grundle shots of Verlander. I mean, the last photos of him were fantastic. We loved those photos. The nice butt photos in the mirror. Those are fantastic. I hope we get more of those, but with World Series championship gear on.
We're gonna let Kyle recreate them.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Who's the chick?
Oh, you're gonna play both parts.
Dalmatian behind you. That'll be the chick for you.
Come on, guys.
We'll move on to the championship series. Jeff, you were at the NLCS series. You went to all the games.
Yeah.
How was it?
The weather was great. Phenomenal time.
Yeah, I heard.
Pretty much, I know Kendall said, pardon me, the Red Baron said in the previous series, it was all Dodgers. I mean, it was a lot of the same. Going into the season, a lot of people thought the Cubs were going to have an equivalent season, make it back. Some people thought they'd fail. Ball.
Yep.
But, I mean, what it came down to, the Dodgers bullpen. The Dodgers bullpen was incredible. The Dodgers scored a ton of runs. The Cubs only squeaked out one win throughout the whole series, and it was a 3-2 win, so it could have went either way. But I highlighted a few different pitchers. Brandon Morrow, guy that really was a non-factor through his whole career. In this series alone, 4 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts, no runs allowed. Then we go to Tony Watson, Pittsburgh guy, so of course I got to throw him in there. Same thing, 2.1 innings, 3 strikeouts, no earned runs. Kenley Jansen, 4.1, 8 strikeouts, no earned runs. So, I mean, even if they hit the starters, they're not getting through the bullpen. And you look at their big hitters, Rizzo batted a $135. Not impressed. Chris Bryant, 200.
Yeah, he was too busy playing that tap baseball game that I see on Instagram
I mean,
all the
these are
time.
guys that can, we saw the year before, they can hit, they can show up. They just didn't. You know, Justin Turner, much to Kendall, the Red Barons' demise here. 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 10 walks. Guy just got on base, made it happen.
When did he become good?
You know, we were talking about the other day, too. Because he wasn't bad on the Mets. He just, I feel like he didn't have the role of that guy. He's been the guy for the Dodgers.
Seems like everybody's
He's
bad
got
when they play for the
beautiful
Mets.
hair.
Beautiful beard. Nice gingerly touch.
I miss him. He was one of my favorite
You
players.
barely had him.
I Billy had him.
You barely had him.
I mean, the other thing, too, the
Had him for a
Cubs,
while.
the Cubs their starters burnt through pitches. Lester pitched one game. It was game 2. 105 pitches in 4 innings. Like, you're not going to get it done with that. And
No.
That's just kind of how that whole series went. The Dodgers overpowered them.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Yep.
beautiful weather.
Do you think Steve Bartman's been to a Cubs game?
I think
Since-
so. Didn't they have him like on the field for something?
Yeah,
they gave him a ring or
They
something,
gave
didn't
a
they?
ring, which is
Did they really?
Yeah.
Last year?
Oh, no.
Like this year?
Like this season, I'm pretty sure they like invited him on the field and they gave him a ring.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Pretty hollow feeling though.
Yeah.
But you know, good for
Hey,
him.
we've hated you for over a decade.
There's this little sports museum in Chicago, in the John Hancock, or not in the John Hancock building, but on the way, and it's just like in this like kind of like mall that's like randomly inside a business building, but they have a little museum there, and they have the ashes of that baseball.
that's
The-
awesome.
This museum like paid like just disgusting amounts of money to get that ball back, and then burned it, and then put the ashes on display in
That's
the
pretty
museum.
funny.
So
I'd like to have that ball.
yeah, why
Well,
not?
it's a pile of ashes now, Kyle.
Doesn't mean I can't make it into a ball.
Yeah, just add water, right?
So Mark, you were at the ALCS games, a lot of traveling.
Yeah, spent a couple weeks there. You know, the
You were
Ash-
specific, just there.
well, both
I
stadiums.
watched them all from a bar in Portland, Oregon.
You know, the Astros took the series 4-3. What was interesting with this series is the away team did not win a game. Whoever was home won the game. Both teams, I mean, as a team, didn't bat super well. Astros, as a team, batted 187, and the Yankees were 205. So it was like timely hits that kind of swung
And
this
errors.
series. Yeah. A lot of errors.
What's
You
like that Mets series against the Royals?
But, you
no
know,
bueno.
The pitching on both sides was pretty good. You know, the Astros as a team had an ERA of 3.3, and the Yankees were 2.73. So pitching on both sides was,
Verlander dominated that series.
yeah, he was good.
It's funny, too. You read off those stats, you're like, how did the Yankees not win? Number-wise, they beat them in ERA and batting average.
Because that was the thing. I mean, it was timely hits.
Yeah.
You know, CC Sabathia played great. Threw 9 1/3 inning, 5 strikeouts, .96 ERA. Guy that everyone kind of thought was done came in, got the job done.
Yep.
Tanaka pitched great through the whole series. Ate up 13 innings, 138 ERA.
That's
know.
138.
Yes, 138. You know, Aaron Judge didn't have super great batting numbers, but had 3 like key home runs with 7 RBIs that pretty much won them the 3 games in New York. Made great plays out in the field. Could have had more hits, but
That's strikeouts.
hey, well, set a record.
Not a good one.
You know, Gary Sanchez didn't have a great series. A couple of rough errors. Pretty much lost game 2 because of a bad error at the plate. Batted 192. And Kyle talked about the Yankees, closing unit before, and this series, they weren't good. Batandis and David Robertson both had 9 ERAs, and Chapman had 6.75. So the Astros were getting to him late in the games. On the Astros side, Altuve was disgusting.
Yeah.
Batted .320, 2 home runs late in the series that sealed it. Carrera batted .333 with 3 doubles and just was lights out in the field. Kyle touched on it already. Verlander couldn't even touch him. Through 16 innings, had a .5 ERA with 21 strikeouts.
He had good motivation.
Yeah. On the Astros side, someone that kind of crapped the bed for him, and it almost really derailed him, was Josh Reddick. The guy in the regular season batted over 300 and came in. I don't think he had his first hit till Game 6. It was kind of like a real rough stretch for him. But it was a good series to watch. I enjoyed it. Didn't care for the result too much, but
Well,
it
you
was
got to
good.
think now you have a young core that just lost, and it's going to fire him up for the years to come.
Fired the coach.
Which is stupid.
I don't
No
yeah,
idea why.
We could talk about that for an hour and a half. That's just
So it's one of those things. I know a lot of people like it. I'm not personally a fan, only because, like I said, I wasn't really a big baseball. I didn't play baseball growing up, so I didn't watch a whole lot of baseball outside of the White Sox. So, for me, all the sports I watched had regulation fields, so it's always kind of, bugged me that the fields aren't, not, the same, but there's some that are just very drastically
Yeah.
different. You could pretty much drop Yankee Stadium in where, the Marlins play and have, enough to put a parking lot behind it.
Yeah.
But I would love to see, one, World Series in, one neutral stadium the whole time. I know that, I get it. I'm not going to argue that it's better. I don't want that coming out of anyone's mouths. I'd be interested to see, not the Polo Grounds, but that would be fun. But, just, one standard ballpark for just, all 7 games.
it would be cool. I wouldn't be that opposed to it.
I just want to see it. I don't want it to be a thing.
My main reason for that is you look at the All-Star game, it means a lot. But what if this doesn't really happen. What if you have a team, no All-Stars, they go out and lose. You make it to the World Series. You don't get the home field advantage for that.
Well, they took that out of the All-Star game.
All right, I'm gonna
It
shut
goes
the
off
fuck
your
up then.
it goes
That's
off
what
your
I'm gonna
record
do.
now. I think this was the first season, but they took that out of the All-Star game. So whichever team has the better record gets home field advantage.
Which means the All-Star game is just becoming all the other
Irrelevant.
All-Star
Yep.
games.
Useless.
And this is J-Mart signing off now.
See, I don't know why. What they should start doing,
Yeah, it is private stock.
they should just start, for All-Star games, I just say, fuck it. What they should start doing is just, letting fans play with the teams.
Like a pro-am.
No, just have, everybody plays, they shut off that whole time frame. On whatever day it is, Tuesday you just get divisional matchups, close-knit series, whatever, and let fans come and play. Play a 9-inning game. Let some 45-year-old beer gut schlub come out and throw a third of an inning. Whatever happens, happens.
I'd like to be that guy.
Sign waivers. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the guy that plays catcher for Chris Sale. That's what I want to do.
I'm good.
No,
Yeah.
I want to do a catcher, and I want to wear nothing but an oven mitt.
There isn't a cup big enough for me to catch an MLB.
I'm catching it with my balls.
I'd be afraid
Of playing catcher or just playing?
playing catcher.
Why?
I'm afraid when God threw 30 miles an hour back there.
So you wouldn't want
You
to
gotta
catch
get over these fears.
You wouldn't want to catch a fastball from Chapman?
No,
I would.
I don't think I would
You're
catch it.
selling yourself short.
Would you let Chapman, if you had the catcher's gear, would you let Chapman throw one right at your chest?
No,
$100.
no.
That's worth $100.
I'd do it
Shut
for
up,
$100.
Red
I'd
Baron.
pay him $100.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
How long is it going to hurt for?
Probably 3
Potentially
months.
a long time.
What if it gets you in the throat?
Then you're dead, and who cares?
Yeah, then at least my son has a lot of money coming out of the Yankees.
$100.
$100.
Well, we're suing him too.
You're not.
Well, I won't be.
Well, so World Series recap. It was interesting.
A lot of
I thought
fun.
It was a great series.
A lot of offense.
And the
I was
Dodgers
really
do what they
disappointed
do
in Game
best.
7. It had so much hype going into it, and then Game 7 was just like...
It was a dull game.
I was like, we were
to
sitting
watch.
here
We
watching me,
flipped it
JR,
on.
and the Red Baron. We were watching it. We had recorded. We're watching it, and I'm just sitting here like, I really want the Astros
Make
to
it a
win,
game.
but can the Dodgers just hit like a 3-run blast right here, just to make it interesting? The Astros' whole trip there had been interesting, And like the Game 7, it's like all this hype.
We turn it on. Yu Darvish throws the pitch. Boom.
It was
Springer.
correct. Was it
It
Springer?
was Springer.
Yeah.
We turned it on to a Springer home
Yeah.
run right up Darvish.
shot.
That was they should have started him. Even if
He fell
I don't
apart,
care if it's the
though.
World Series, just even if you base it off of what was his Game 3 performance, terrible. Didn't he only pitch like 2 innings
Yeah.
in the whole World Series?
I think he's the first pitcher to like ever start 2 World Series games and not get out of the second inning in
Yeah.
either game.
You also got to remember the Astros saw him a lot this year.
That's true.
He was in Texas before he got traded, and a lot of playing time.
He's
against the
always,
Astros.
barring the years he was injured, he's always been an innings eater. So they definitely seen him. And a lot of the guys on the Astros played for other AL teams like Reddick, McCann. So they've all seen him. Yeah, it was such a good series. And then all we wanted was the Game 7. We got the Game 7. Send it back.
Yeah.
We didn't order this.
Yeah, I mean, like Game 7, I was expecting Game 7 to be like it was between the Cubs and the Indians. Like,
Yeah.
it had like that type of series.
That game was insane.
Yeah.
That Game 7.
Not
That was
to
nuts.
take anything away from the Astros, but that was the Game 7.
Well, they
was
got ahead.
not that fun to watch.
They got ahead and they just went on cruise control.
And that's-
And that's
I mean,
kind of how.
As
I mean-
a player, I'd love that for
yeah,
sure.
I mean,
instead
they
of
still,
having to
it's
stress
not like
out
they
all
gave
game.
up or anything. Like, they weren't like dicking around. I mean, they still put the ball in play. But
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they just played solid defense. I mean, like you said, it's not taking anything away from them. It's just being a greedy ass sports fan. You just
we want a walk off.
yeah,
Like, what the
especially
fuck?
especially when you consider like none of us are fans of these two teams. Well, I know the Red Baron is a secret, Astros
It's like a
fan.
loose fan.
I support the city.
No,
And
you
I almost
don't. You
got the
don't support the
prediction right.
Yeah,
Almost.
you support the city so much that you predicted the Astros to lose to the
Yeah.
Dodgers in the
Well,
World Series.
because I just felt that would happen. So
Yeah, well.
why can I be faulted for
Yeah,
that?
you have to do some private stock for that.
I was the closest anybody's ever come to a prediction.
Yeah, but
Give
Houston's
him
your
that.
favorite city of all time.
I know it's my favorite city of all time. I think I'd give it to old Wallingford here.
It's a town.
It's a city.
It's a city.
Technically
Is
a
it?
city.
So you're gonna follow me up right after this?
population, I believe.
Yeah, but like
It's I know.
No.
No,
Yes,
you
yes,
do
the
it.
yes.
tallest
You gotta
building
do
in
it.
Wallingford is Duchess.
I think I live in the tallest building.
You might.
It's an
You might.
argument for that.
Yeah, that might be the
If
tallest
you-
building in Wallingford.
Get rid of the
Yeah.
churches.
I don't
They
know,
don't
there's
count.
Judd Square.
Steeples
Give me
don't
that
count.
Judd Square might be a little
Steeples
taller.
don't count.
Steeples don't count. All right, enough
Yeah,
local
fine.
talk. No one knows any of these buildings are.
Just drink it.
But yeah, I mean, World Series was interesting. It was a lot of fun to watch.
It was a good series.
It was one of those
overall.
things where it's like, I have a hard time. Like, I follow the postseason, and I've been better about following the regular season. Usually I'll watch the postseason games.
I mean, it's a
but,
lot
like-
of games. The
But
regular
like,
season.
but the thing is like it's a long game, and it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It just feels like it's not like every game isn't as hyped up as like every game is in like the NBA finals, and like the Super Bowl is obviously a one and done situation. But like I'll get home, like the game will already be 3 innings in. I'll look at the score. It'll be like, oh, so and so is leading 4-0. I'm like, they got it, and then that's it, and then I don't watch it.
See,
But I wanted to watch every game.
what I like about the MLB offseason is because the season is so long, it just seems like each game is just there's more into each game.
Postseason, not off season.
Is that what did I say off season?
Private
what's
stock.
But I
Reason
like
why I gave it to you.
I got really confused.
The,
Where's he going with
the
this?
football season, like it comes and goes so fast.
Yeah,
Think about it, it's already week 10.
don't mention that.
It happens so quick. Baseball, I mean, it feels like it takes forever. So the postseason is just like everything coming together and wrapping up. I think it's great.
I don't bother watching any baseball until the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup are over. I can't be bothered with watching these like early season games when there's like teams putting it all on the line to make
Yeah.
the playoffs.
And that's where I give Souls a lot of credit. This kid watches probably out of the 162, he probably watches a good 80 to 90.
More than
Phillies
that.
games. Maybe more.
120.
Phillies
what
losses.
basis do you have
That's
to
what I'm
say
saying.
that?
Like, imagine suffering 120 times a season, but he does it.
It's not suffering. It's greatness to me. I could watch every inning of every game.
Now
if I had
that's a shirt.
Yeah.
It's not
You know,
suffering.
If the Phillies,
It's greatness to me.
The Phillies should reach out to Kyle at this point and give him some gear or something for that.
You know what the thing is like they'd reach out and Kyle wouldn't know what to say, so they'd send him like a Philly
Go
fanatic
straight to
costume.
voicemail, which isn't set up. They'd never get in touch with him.
See, I would love for like Kyle to set up a voicemail. I'd love to call him and just see what it says. It'd be something stupid, like just
Yeah,
be
let's
like,
K quick.
yeah, just something like that.
Leave me a message.
Or just be like, yo, What up?
Oh, he'd definitely do that.
Not here.
Vote for Kyle's.
Ooh, vote for
we
Kyle's
should-
voicemail.
Should we give out his number? No, we should
Oh,
let's
call
get
him.
What if we get him a burner, a little cheap phone?
Yeah.
Contact me there anytime.
If
Just,
your name
uh,
is Craig,
that's-
we've been looking for you.
That's
You're
some
gonna bleep that out, right?
that's some like jackass bullshit. Just pull-
You're like a modern day
that's
Mike
not
Jones.
Kyle's
shouting
phone
out your
number.
phone number.
That's pretty.
That's
dick move.
somebody's phone number though.
Yeah.
At this
That's
table.
funny. I didn't even realize that.
Dude, these people that know Craig, they really need to stop bothering me.
Just
I can't block it. Who the knows?
what if you block your own number?
I don't know if that works.
Try it.
We could, but it's just ridiculous now.
How about this? I'll block your number. We'll see if it works.
His uncle called me, and he wanted me to tell him that he was my favorite uncle, and I did.
Now, best part for the listeners, you don't know Craig.
I have no idea who Craig is.
Craig and Craig's family has been harassing you
Yes.
For
and,
years.
and they know it.
Now, just a little backstory. That's the guy that owned your phone before you, right?
Yeah.
This guy's got to talk to his family.
I want to track Craig down. I bet you he's dead or in jail.
That's
or
a
maybe-
possibility.
Are you Craig, Kyle?
I could
Maybe
be.
living a double life.
I feel like this whole time it's Craig Robertson, and we just don't know it. That'd be awesome. It's just
Oh,
Jonah Hill calling him all the time.
All I know is that his uncle is a good dude. All right.
All right, moving on. Our own producer here, Mr. Red Robin. Nah, I like. Oh, that'd be good.
Red Robin.
Yeah.
Red Robin ring robbers.
A lot of R's there.
Oh.
Would you like to tell the listeners this segment that you came up with that's confused everybody here when trying to figure out what we're going to do?
Well,
about
I
it?
come up with these great names that I feel are great names. They're catchy, and they're like, what? So I came up with Ring Robber, just like that. And the idea in my head was that a player that joined a team during the beginning of the year or halfway through won the championship with that team and like left right afterwards. And starting off, the player that made me think of it was Vernon Davis, and played for San Francisco for a long time as a tight end. I have his stats up here. I don't know if you guys
Just
care
look-
about the stats.
fairly dominant. I mean,
Fairly dominant.
You know, people who know football know. I
He's
mean,
a
he was-
household name.
Yeah, he was.
Still is,
He was a
but
top
more
tier
so
tight
now.
end when he was
Yeah,
in
he
San Fran.
was good.
Started kind of falling off a little bit, getting up there in age, if you will. Signed with the Broncos during that 2015 season with Peyton Manning. And
Midway through the season too, right?
Midway. And was not even like a main factor there. He was the number 2 tight end there. I can't remember who their starting tight end was, but I know he was number 1. And
May have been like the number 3.
It was
Well,
Jules
it
Thomas.
wasn't- yeah,
Thomas
it
was
wasn't
there.
Julius
Julius
Thomas.
Thomas
Virgil
was there.
Green was there.
I don't think he was there yet.
No,
No?
they had Jacob
Joel
Tammy.
Dreesen.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jacob
Oh, that's
Tammy.
right.
Wow.
That's right.
They might have had Joel Dreesen too.
Wait a minute. They had everybody's suburban uncle.
No. Oh, yeah, they did.
They had
Uh,
Owen
yeah,
Daniels.
Owen
he
Daniels.
scored a touchdown in the
Everybody's
Super Bowl.
suburban uncle.
Everybody's suburban.
Yeah,
And
they-
just he hitched a ride on the Broncos train. They won the Super Bowl, and then he was out, signed with Washington, and where he still plays now. So it's like the
Some
perfect
people
example.
Start him in fantasy. I'm not gonna say any names.
Jeff.
I remember one Vernon Davis play when he was still at San Fran in the postseason. Jeff's giving
Oh,
me
yeah.
a good look right now.
That play is
What do you remember about that?
that play is called the Catch 3 in 49ers history.
He tore us a new one.
But anyway, that's the type of player I was thinking of, and it goes across all sports. Anybody who kind of joined a team and they went on to win, and then they were out of here. I got my ring.
But like not
there's none of
necessarily
those.
bus
Right.
players or anything.
It could
like
be
that.
a bust, but ring robber, stole a
Yeah,
championship.
took the gold and ran.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got 2
You got two?
on the same team in the same year.
Wow.
So it was via trade, and neither of these players were busts by any means. But the Chicago Blackhawks in the same year, 2015, they win the Stanley Cup. During that year, I mean, due to injury purposes and all that, they trade a pick to the Flyers, and they get Kimmo Timonen, who, you know, he was by no means a bust, going to go down as one of the best Flyers players in history. You know, absolute tear of a defenseman. But he was old. I mean, he couldn't stay healthy at the tail end of his career. They traded for him, and they also traded to the Coyotes for Antoine Vermette because they needed another center. So they trade a pick for him almost the same day, and they get him on. Both these players, they're on the Blackhawks. They win a ring, and Vermette actually contributed a little bit in the Western Conference Finals against the Ducks. and they both win their ring. Timonen retires, and Vermette goes back to the Coyotes, and that's it. Jeff's
Stole a
jerking
championship.
off. Jeff's jerking off right now.
It's false.
Are you sure?
No.
All right. But I mean, just 2 players in the same year, in
Yeah.
the same team. That's awesome. I want to be that guy.
I just thought of a guy because of what you were saying. He went back to the team. Aroldis Chapman did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
didn't
Yankees
think of
traded him.
that.
The Yankees traded him to the Cubs. He went, won the World Series, signed back with the Yankees.
He's like, I got the ring. Now I want the money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stole a championship.
He almost blew that World Series
Yeah.
too.
He used to wear one of the better uniforms in the MLB too. Back when he played for
They're
Cincinnati.
so
The old
Gross.
gray and red.
Beautiful.
I like them. They remind me of a really historic football team. Da Bears. I just want to say
Nice.
that.
Polish sausage.
That's such a good NSL skit.
Eh.
Souls, do you have one?
Dun, dun, dun. That's the bottle this way.
So one guy
That's
that comes to mind is Sam Cassell. His old ass signed with the Celtics in his last year playing in the NBA. Don't think he played much because they had Rondo, they had Pierce Garnett, Ray Allen. He just kind of went for the ride and won the ring. Retired.
Let me ask you something though.
What's up?
As an NBA fan, do you deserve to get a ring after all the years from Minnesota?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to make sure because I definitely think he did. He put in a
He
lot
won
of
one
work.
though in its first year in the NBA.
Yeah.
He was Houston Rocket.
I don't know if you guys remember. So, do you remember? Kyle and Jeff would remember this more than you guys would. They were on. I don't think it was on YouTube. I think they were actually on NBA.com, and so they had players in the NBA doing like these 6-minute tutorial videos on how to better a part of your game. And so they had Ray Allen doing the 3-point shot, and they had
I think I
Ben
do
Wallace
remember
doing
these,
post
yeah.
defense. Sam Cassell's was the mid-range game, and it was just the funniest thing because he starts talking. It's all gums. It's all you see. I mean,
You got to put up that jump
yeah,
shot.
his bald ass head, his lip up around the top of his head, talking, and it's just so funny because it's in the NBA, you don't a lot. I mean, if you play basketball, you love the fundamentals, the players that are fundamentally sound and do the right things at the right time. But when you watch a package, to be oh, I want to be better at a specific thing, and you watch a package of videos, you want to be better at something flashy or something
Not Sam
detrimental,
Cassell.
not dribbling around a screen and doing a pull-up jumper from 12 feet away. Kyle, that's not Kyle's game. Kyle's
No.
game is shooting from 14 feet past the arc 18 times and making 9 of them.
You got to pass the ball. Just keep the ball
50%.
moving. Assist, assist, assist.
Jeff, do you have somebody?
I do. I have basketball as well. A guy by the name of Deshaun Stevenson. So he's a guy that I feel like only real basketball, true basketball fans will hear.
People who
know.
have watched a lot of games.
Exactly. He bounced around between 6 or 7 teams, but he found his way onto that 2011 Mavericks team that wind up winning the championship. It's not that he didn't contribute. He did contribute, but you're not going to think back oh, thank God we had Deshaun Stevenson.
Yeah.
We never would have
They
won a ring.
probably would have won without him.
Yeah, any other serviceable shooting guard, because nothing to take away from him. He was okay.
He
was
should have been
good
out of
that
the league.
year.
Well, the same.
But that's what I mean. He bounced out of the league, back in the league,
Well,
from
He
team
also,
to
him
team.
and Gilbert Arenas,
Yeah, they got into the,
they
the guns.
might as well shot each other.
Well, the same team. I mean, it's just kind of the Sam Cassell talk. Deserved the ring, but Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
I mean, he went back to the Mavericks because he played there before, but he played for the Nets all those
I'm
times. And
noticing bald seems to
Yeah.
be the trend of
Baldwin.
these rings.
He was a bald guy.
made a finals with the Nets, right? Right, he made a finals with the Nets, right? Did they
Yeah.
make the finals?
Yes.
Yeah,
They lost to
That's what I
the Spurs.
probably.
Maybe Spurs.
If you made it to the finals in the
You lose
2000s
to
and
the
didn't win,
Spurs
you
back
lost to
then.
the Spurs. The ring always evaded him, type of deal. Goes up, wins the ring, and I think he retired after that year. I think right after that did he play one more year?
I have no idea.
I thought he
believe-
retired and then and then took the kind of
This
like
is
a
your
year off and then
job,
became the
Souls.
Bucks coach.
That was great insight,
I
by
have
the
to
way,
look
by
into
Kyle.
it.
I don't know if you guys heard that.
he rotted with the Knicks for a little bit.
Oh, did he?
He did rot with us.
I'll look into it while you guys keep talking.
Well,
Well,
I don't know.
you
I
got
think
one?
it was
yeah, I got
after.
another guy.
Got one?
Dave Ross.
Big David Ross. Come on now.
Yeah, he was
Guy could
really only
dance.
brought in to catch Lester.
Hey.
And
So real quick, not to interrupt, Kyle,
Oh.
but I look up Jason Kidd, and the first picture is him in a Knicks jersey.
That's funny.
So case closed on that.
he literally just won a World Series by catching Lester.
Well,
I tell you,
I want
remember-
to fight for
he-
David Ross. He's got pop in his bat. That's all.
I'm
he's
not
got.
saying
yeah.
he doesn't. I'm just saying
he
went in,
had a couple of like key hits.
did a job, got the ring, got the out of the league.
Hey, ring robber.
He was
We
effective.
did it.
Now he's an ESPN analyst.
He wasn't
pretty
gonna put up
terrible
huge
at it.
numbers. Dancing with the Stars too. Don't
Didn't he
forget that.
have
Did he
like
win?
a home run or something in
I
Game
don't
7 to
watch
like
it.
tie the game or
he
something
did
like
have
that?
a big home run. I don't know if it was Game 7 though.
I remember it was towards the end. And it was like to win one of the games.
Jason Kidd did play as a Nick his last year, and then I forgot he was the Nets coach for a year.
That's right.
You get traded.
You know what though? It's better for him. Now he's got Bledsoe and Giannis.
I have perhaps, and Kyle's gonna love this, probably the biggest ring robber of all time. And we're gonna go to the 2008 Phillies. A guy by the name of Matt Stairs
Yeah.
Pitchies was just fat and a pinch hitter.
Yeah,
Got
that
traded
guy
to the
got a
Phillies.
Good ass hammering.
Ah, he beat me to it.
traded the Phillies, hit like 2 random home runs that were important.
I
Won a
will
ring.
put it on record that Matt Stairs may be the best pinch hitter there's ever been.
Got his ring, got out. And you know what another funny thing is? During that period of time, he was also a substitute teacher. He came back to play baseball.
That makes me worry about the ass
That's what,
hammering
isn't that
thing.
what McCown did for the Josh McCown, right? When the Bears.
Oh, he might have been.
Because then he played, and then no one signed him, and he went back to teaching. Or no, he was a high school coach. And then the Bears were just like, "Hey, we need a backup quarterback. Would you like to have a contract?'t And then just signed a deal.
So Matt
Forget
Stairs,
that high school.
They could have
And
been
now
Luke.
he's like the fourth best fantasy football quarterback this year.
could you imagine being like
that no one has.
a random school in Vermont? Matt Stairs is writing on the chalkboard. He gets a phone call. Yeah, I'm on my way.
I gotta go. I can't wait.
Chapter 12, get it done.
I'll be back next
That's
fall.
my, he's a small guy. Like, he was only like 5'9", 10.
Yeah, but
But he had
he
some-
knew how to hit,
he
man.
knew how to get his ass hammered at the plate by his teammates.
What's the interview from?
It was just like some
So-
Philly thing.
Yeah,
What, it was
that
it was a
the World
walk-off.
Series team, right?
Yeah, they played the Dodgers.
Yeah, go look up that interview. I don't know what
It's incredible.
most
He
ridiculous.
just said something along the lines of like, "There's nothing like getting to home plate and getting your ass hammered by the team." Come on, man.
Got my ass hammered by my coach once.
All right, we're not going to talk about that on the air.
I got one more player I'd like to throw in. We kind of talked about him before we started recording, but Martellus Bennett with the Patriots went there for a year, got a ring, left. Now we think he might go back.
ruined my fantasy season.
He's gonna be a Patriots. They might as well pick him back up.
Screw him.
Well, we talked about too, like Johnny Gomes. I mean, he kind of always found himself on some World Series contending team. Then, I mean, he won one with the Red Sox. Then he kind of just was on some World Series contending team, with the exception of a stint with the Braves. And then, but then that same year, started with the Braves, went to the Royals, won the World Series. Now he's playing in like Japan.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
loved in Japan, by the way.
One of my favorite things, real quick, about Gomes, I'll never forget it. He was in right field for the Tampa Bay Rays. I think it was Coco Crisp. Gets into like a brawl with B.J. Upton, who played second. Gomes was the first guy to throw a punch, and he came out of right field. So good for Gomes.
I mean, there's tons of them. Kyle's got one on his team. Phil Kessel. Him. Guy's got a great career. Besides, you know what? It. I'm everybody over. I'm going to the Penguins. Wins 2 championships.
Hey,
Now,
No, Kyle.
I have
No
a quick
hay.
question. I have a quick question.
no.
We're talking about, a couple players like the Vernon Davises who signed with these teams, got a ring, but did pretty much nothing to earn it. Do they deserve if you were that player that played a long time, were good, but you got this ring that you did nothing to contribute for? Is it worth it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
you have a ring.
Yeah.
I mean,
as an athlete, it's something that the fans won't even remember unless they listen to our podcast.
except we
But
remember
as a
it.
player, I would ride the pine for a ring.
But you
know,
think you would look at it and just be like, I didn't do anything for this. Garoppolo's got 2 rings, didn't do anything for him.
Yeah.
he's living the Blue Mountain State dream.
Did Tommy have a ring? Tommy Maddox?
Yeah, he might from Super Bowl 40.
Yeah, he didn't do a damn thing.
No, he didn't. But
Bitch ass got hurt.
Actually,
Lost
does
his
Jamie
job.
Moyer have one, Kyle?
Hmm?
Was he on that Phillies team?
Yes, he was.
Good. That was a guy that I always wanted to get one just because he was.
He went to the
just
Rockies.
so old.
Bad play for him and going to Colorado.
Oh yeah,
The 81 mile per hour fastball went.
78.
He threw 81.
When he was 30. Got retired at 61.
Nice. Shout out to Jamie Moyer. We apologize.
Excellence from Solzy.
But well, I mean, we could maybe do this topic again. This was came to me in a dream.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
All
did
right,
it?
all right.
Did it though, Ken?
It did. It
I mean,
did.
Baron?
Daydreaming.
Day drinking is what he meant to say.
That's right.
Oh,
Day drinking.
oh.
I gotta get used to this nickname thing.
Well, get used to it.
You.
Oh my god. There's about 25 of these. And then,
Well, could you also throw Plaxico Burress into the mix? I mean, he played 1 year.
He's
after,
a name I thought of.
I mean,
too.
he was on the Giants for what 4 years?
Sound like
But I
that.
mean, like the best part is like he leaves the Steelers, then they win without him, and then he manages to squeak one out. And was he really a factor in that game?
he caught the game-winning touchdown. He did.
Yeah, but
He had a good game.
He
but
shot
it wouldn't have
himself.
mattered if it wasn't for David Tyree.
he had
He-
like 6 or 7 receptions.
Yeah, he did have a good game.
I didn't watch that game. I don't give a shit. I didn't really care about either of those teams.
Best Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Best
Steelers
one I ever
Cardinals.
saw.
Steelers
No, the
Cardinals. man.
Saints over the Colts.
We'll talk
easily.
about this. We'll talk about this.
Undefeated.
Do you think you'll make the Super Bowl this year and be defeated?
No.
No, you won't be defeated, or no, you won't make it.
No comment.
All right. I believe Maxine Washable has some plugs he'd like to
Yeah,
show up his ass.
all the time. Take a minute. Quick word from our friends at the Pod Couple podcast.
Hi, I'm Pod Guy.
And I'm Pod Gal. And we're the Pod Couple.
I like horror movies.
And I like felt crafting.
I like drinking beer.
And I like beer.
Don't those humans piss you off?
Oh my god, the world is such a wonderful place. And I really want to go to a poetry reading.
And I really want to go to a wet t-shirt contest.
And we're the Pod Couple.
So join us, the Pod Couple, on iTunes,
Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, and wherever you find your podcasts.
the Pod Couple.
Be sure to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Follow
Make
it.
sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's looking at nudes of Justin Verlander or actually robbing somebody.
We're on Podbean and iTunes. You can find us every morning from 7 to 8 a.m. on the Leeb Sports Network.
Listen.
And every Sunday from 12 to 1, we are on the PPRN Radio Network.
And I believe Kendall, our producer, would also like to shout out the PPRN network
Yes, we got to go on there recently, or earlier this week.
recently.
And we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great time.
And we're very excited to go back, hopefully in sometime in December. I think
Yeah.
if we can make it work, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep the
Uh,
listeners posted.
Kyle's going to prepare a song, I believe you said, Jerry.
He's
we,
doing
wa- we
and
watched
a dance.
we watched Kyle try to hook up with a Latin man. Like he was trying.
Well, Kyle was loving it because there was this local group out of Bridgeport, right?
Yeah.
They're out of Bridgeport called Just Cuz with a Z. And, you know, Kyle, anybody who knows Kyle, big hard on for anything R&B, and that's what they were. They were just boys to men with a girl.
Yes, sir.
They were good, though. So
yeah,
shout,
they were,
shout out
they
to
were
them.
very good.
But yeah, a lot of fun. Make sure you don't just listen to us. Listen to everything they got to offer. Great
But
station.
listen to us more.
Yeah, more Matt, more.
Well, we got to get you on there, Jeff.
That's
We'll-
true.
we'll
It's your
get you
cup
on.
of tea. A lot of drinking going on.
From what I've heard,
Uncle
I
Bob's
really
the
want to be
dude.
there in December.
Shout out to Uncle Bob.
With Bob, yeah. Yeah. Beer reviews? Machine washable?
The plumage was pretty good. I mean, kind of like a average IPA, but definitely drinkable. I liked it.
A lot of contradicting going on. Pretty good, average.
It was
I liked
it wasn't like, oh god, I gotta have this again. But if someone said, "Do you want this?" I would drink it.
All right. Soulsy?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I thought I was about to say Yahtzee.
Give us some Trump for your beer review.
Alt beer was just all right. It wasn't great, but it was just okay.
The drinking is so good.
Shake my hand.
Just like he threw out peace signs like Nixon does.
Yeah, he's
didn't
trying to
It
do
was
Nixon.
funny. Last night I had Kyle doing a Charles Barkley impression in the Trump impression, and it was fantastic. Kendall? Or Red Baron?
Red
Sorry.
Baron.
We'll have it down by then.
There we go. That's the sound we're looking for.
It's funny because like,
Been
I almost
doing
feel
it
like
all
I
night.
almost feel like that the plane noise like constitutes private stock, but it's done enough where like we'd be out of private stock every show.
So I had
Private snack.
the King Titus from the Maine Beer Company.
King Titus O'Neill.
King Titus O'Neill. Titus brand. And from them, I've had the Mean Old Tom and another beer that I can't remember.
Lunch.
We had lunch, but you also had a tiny beautiful something.
Yep.
You've had Mo Pale Ale.
So I've had more than I can remember. But very good. I enjoyed the porter. It's got the coffee,
Jerry
chocolatey
Porter.
taste that I like it, much like Paul. I'm a stout porter.
Gross.
Thank you, Donald. And I highly recommend it.
J-Mart.
The Even More Jesus was pretty good. I mean, I feel like I haven't had an Imperial Stout in a while, so I can't judge it to anything I've had in a while. All I can say is I want another one. I'm feeling good. Even More Jesus.
You need more Jesus in your life, son.
Jesus.
Lizards of Kaz. Just it's fantastic. Problem is it's a 750. It's not even a bomber. It's a 750. It's like a bottle of wine. So I'm gonna be drinking this for a little while. It's really hard to drink like a beer this size while you're on the air.
Yeah.
You know what we need? We need one of those like the Poland Springs things filled with beer. So you can just have the tap, like you just keep. Like, Not a
Yeah.
keg though. I want it in a plastic jug.
The
And I
water,
want
the
really gonna
office
bring
water
out the
cooler.
flavors.
But you guys are missing. I want the option for the hot tab. Is what I
Ah.
want. I want to fill it with Bud Light, and I want the option of having it hot. That's what I want.
Now you're speaking my
Yeah,
language.
Kendall
Little
and I
paper
joked
cups.
about that, about the private stock we brought to PPRN. We were going to microwave it and get it nice and hot.
That's what we should start doing.
We should have brought it. Well, you guys should have brought him over some Frank's cheese.
Ah, never again.
We need the recipe for that.
I might have missed this.
Kyle, you had some of it.
I don't remember.
Well, from all of us here at Getting Sports with Drunk, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Donald Souls.
Wow.
I'm Mock.
Gene Washable.
Nope.
I'm J-Mark.
And I'm the Red Baron.